real to let you all know how you really feel. When I can honestly the same and along the land. Sit back, listen, and watch what you think. Yeah. Watch your wild. You see, you never smile. Broken home, father gone, mama tired, so is all alone. Kinda sad, kinda bad. Ghetto child, thinking he's been had, but I can just hear him in the back of his mind saying, didn't have to be here. You didn't have to learn from me.
Good evening and welcome to Socrates Speaks, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. right here on WMPR 90.1 and the voice of the community. Please feel free to call in this evening if you have any comments at 601-948-5950. And Mr. Garrett is live on his Sock Garrett Facebook page. So we have lots of opportunities and ways for you to stay connected in our community. This program is underwritten by Next Level Experience, located at the Metro Center Mall above the police department. Please come and visit us on this Sunday as we are having an event. It's actually at House at Next Level. It's presented by Southern Horsemen Association and Share Loud Foundation. It is an honor to support those in Texas. It's a disaster relief benefit concert. It's taking place this Sunday. Doors open at 6. Showtime is at 7, and it's only $10 admission, and all of that money is going to help someone in need in Texas. We will have someone coming this evening to talk about this event with the lineup and everything. It's also going to be hosted by Alice Marie. So again, that's taking place at Next Level. You can visit our website at nextleveljxn.com. Should you have any questions or are looking for a venue to have your holiday parties, Christmas parties, or just a girls' night out, please feel free to give us a call at 769-447-4518. We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll come back with some other events that is going to be housed at Next Level, as well as an opportunity for local Mississippi farmers and landowners, some workshops that are coming up that are absolutely free in central Mississippi. Good evening, Mr. Garrett, and you're on.
Thank you, Tamika. It's good to be back in the studio. We were out last week. Had an opportunity to run over to Houston to bid on a couple of contracts over there, as well as an opportunity to go into Florida, looking at some work down there. So, the tragedy that occurs, once we revitalize our communities, there's so much work to be done. No one can predict when the Lord will strike, what he will send in our direction. And we have to be thankful and grateful that we are alive and that we weathered the storm. And to those that lost their lives and lost most everything that they had, we just have to lean on his unchanging hands. We have to stand strong, and we have to work together, and we have to rebuild. It's going to be a time of rebuilding, and the time of rebuilding is going to last a long, long time. So I encourage all black-owned businesses to look where the economic opportunities are to assist in the rebuilding process. You gotta travel. You gotta take your business on the road. You gotta go where the opportunities are. We stay in the same position, in the same rut, far, far too long. And Lord knows that being an African-American business person in the state of Mississippi is a greater challenge than being an air traffic controller. It's just a hard job because the economy is so small and we don't have CEOs and visionary leaderships in our community. So we struggle to find a vision and to find a way and a method that we can improve the quality of lives for our citizens. It's hard, but we gotta stay at it. Got to stay in the game. As I say often, we are only one relationship away from things changing dramatically. One relationship away, one meaningful dialogue, one caring customer is all that we are missing. And we can't wait for that customer to find us. I remind you to go back and reread the book, Who Moved My Cheese? We got to get out into parts unknown. We got to go into the Caribbean. We got to go into the islands. Got to go into Puerto Rico. We got to go where they need our services. And believe me, it's a lot of work to be done. All right, but on the home front, since I'm back, I understand that we've had a lot of conversations and a lot of dialogue about African American leadership in our community. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the consequences of failed leadership. And so we want to talk a little bit about the Jackson Public School Board and the Jackson Public School District. You know, I always say that we have the big four. We have the economic engines in our community that have to lead, have to provide opportunities for our folk to eradicate poverty in our communities. Poverty is the root cause of everything that's wrong with Mississippi, both in the black and the white communities. Poverty. The only way to change that is to improve the economic condition. We must build a strong black business class. We must build that so that we can create jobs and opportunities for our people. And the economic engines, the big four, play a major role in that. I often say we're not dependent upon anyone else to help us with this project. We're dependent upon our own folk that we put in these positions to get this done. Now, JPS is in a tug of war. JPS is struggling. I'll remind you that when I say it's one of the big four, the JPS budget is larger than the budget for the city of Jackson. So we got to know that when you're dealing with that kind of economics and you're handling those kinds of dollars, it's going to take shrewd, visionary, creative leadership. You can't just go along to get along. You have to speak up and you have to speak out when you see that we're not going in the right direction. I will grant you that black leadership is under attack. I grant you that. And so we know that. That's why we have to be better. We have to be more diligent. We have to run a tighter budget. We can't have deficits. We can't have redundancy in positions. We can't have failing schools. If our leadership is under attack, and we know that, then those things you cannot allow to happen. Now, as an example of why I say it's under attack, it was in the same week we lost the president of Jackson State University, Carolyn Myers. And that same week we lost the superintendent of Jackson Public School System, Cedric Gray. In the same week. The irony of all of that is that most of the problems, not in Carolyn Myers' case, but in the case of Cedric, most of the problems we create ourselves. The board has to quit playing games. Cedric Gray had just received a review and got an excellent review with an extended contract and pay raise, and the next week he was up for termination. And you can't have it both ways. Either the man was doing a good job, as the review indicated and the contract extension and the pay raise indicated, then we have to fight for him. We have to fight and say that our superintendent is doing a good job. We're going to work with him. We're going to give him time. We're going to support his leadership. We share his visions. We have corrective actions in place. But no, as soon as the state board indicated that the district was in trouble, what do? We fire the school superintendent. So we can't have that kind of leadership. We can't waver when trouble comes. We have to believe in the goals and the objectives and the vision and the capability of our folk to lead. If we don't, we're going to lose everything. First, we got to make absolute certain that we put capable, competent people in every position. You know, business can be so lucrative until it can be profitable, even though it's poorly managed. But when business is not lucrative, it cannot be profitable if it's poorly managed. You don't have the luxury then of carrying people that are incapable of getting the job done. You don't have the luxury of hiring family and close friends and relatives. You don't have that luxury anymore. In tough times, you have to make tough decisions, and you have to make them in time. And tough decisions are not popular. I remember as a boy walking with my grandfather, who had planted some corn, and the weather was raining, and it rained and rained and rained until the grass grew up, and we weren't able to get in there and chop the grass away. So Granddaddy said, well, I want you to start over, plow it under. Let's start over. I said, no, we cannot plow it under. I've done all this work. I've spent all this time. We can't plow it under. He said, the only way to fix this problem is to plow it under and let's start over. So, you know, we got to be careful here. If we lose the ability to control and manage the economic engines, we lose the ability to provide opportunities for our folk. I'm talking about opportunities for folk who are capable and able and willing to do the job. Got to quit playing games, though. You know, we had the situation with the board for JPS was unable to have a quorum. We can't have boards that are in disarray and don't have the ability to carry out the day-to-day functions of the district. We can't let anybody see that happen one time. It just opens the doors for folk to say, well, we can't manage it. We can't allow that to happen. Our economic engines are under attack, and they are just as much under attack from within as they are from the outside. They're under attack when we don't put people in the positions that have visionary leadership and capabilities. Now, the board didn't have a quorum because some of the terms had expired, and state law now says that you can't serve a day beyond your expired term. You know, years ago, board members would serve, term would have expired 2 years ago. And our mayors just refused to appoint someone, or the people they tried to appoint, the city council wouldn't wouldn't ratify. And so we had holdovers, and they just stayed there for a long time. That's inefficient leadership. We can't do that. We can't demonstrate that. We can't send that signal. The board didn't have a quorum because Tony Yarborough was unable to get the people that he recommended for appointment to the board passed by the city council. Why? Petty politics. Poor leadership. A board without a vision that was not able to see that all of these things, all of these little things, are going to lead us to the path that where we are today. I had a long discussions about millage increases and who failed to ask the city to increase the millage. Was it the city that didn't do it, or was it the school system that didn't ask for it? We can't have that if we're going to be successful. I can't have it in business. You can't have it in running a school district. And you can't have it in running any other entity. You have to connect the dots. You have to be where you're supposed to be on time, doing what you're supposed to do. You have to have that discipline. I remember when I went into the U.S. Army, I'll never forget it. One of the first things that they taught me, drilled in my head, that I will not leave my post until properly relieved. It doesn't mean that if my shift ended at 5 and no one showed up, that I can just leave. I can't go nowhere. If I'm going to stay there 6 days, I will not leave my post until properly relieved. Duty requires me to do that. And so we got to get rid of all of the foolishness. That's what we got to get rid of. We got to stamp out foolishness. We got to stamp out hating. Got to get rid of that. We can do this. We can build an economy. We can educate our children. We can do this. But we got to work together with a single vision. We got to be driven. We got to be up first thing in the morning and staying up late at night, dreaming and planning. Our teachers have to find creative ways to teach our children. They have to look deep inside of the classroom and look at the individual requirements. You know, teaching is like a conductor. All kids are not motivated the same. Some of them, like in music, if they're all listening to music and you just watch them. If you're playing some music in the classroom, there will be some of them that are head bobbers. They'll be bobbing their heads back and forth. Some of them will be finger poppers. Some of them will be toe tappers. They all will respond to the same music in a different way. And as the conductor, we have to understand the elements and the parts of this orchestra that we're in charge in, and we have to find a way to bring it into harmony. where it works. It's all about effective leadership. And you can't have so much disruption. And when I remember back, just thinking back, when Ben Canada was school superintendent, he probably had been school superintendent for 20 years. 20 years. And then we got our first African-American school superintendent after Ben Canada. We got, I believe, Jane Sargent. Jane didn't last long. So we went and got Earl Watkins. Earl didn't last long. So we went and got Lonnie Edwards. Lonnie didn't last hardly any time. So then we went back and got Jane Sargent again. She didn't want the job. So then we brought in Cedric Gray. Look at all of the turnover in the critical position to provide leadership and direction, to be able to rely upon what is it that I did 5 years ago when I saw this problem, when I was confronted with this. What did I do to get out of it the last time that I saw it? If I've seen this thing before because I weathered the storms before, then I know what to do now. But if you're always a freshman leader, if you're always a leader that's in a position to deal with something that you've never seen before, you're going to get poor grades. That's why we red-shirt freshmen. Give them some time. It's a monster managing a corporation the size of JPS. It's a monster. Probably the largest corporation we have. It takes experienced, committed, trained leadership to do that. And when you don't have that kind of leadership in place, then you get all kinds of interference. A few years back, we got the interference from the Mississippi Athletic Association. They were going to dictate to us whether or not we could play basketball during the holiday season, and basically told us we couldn't. Hold on a second. Carla, you're on the air.
Can I speak to you, please?
Well, I'm on the radio right now. You can call him back a little bit later.
Okay.
Okay.
I can call back then. This is Miss Kathy. Okay, thank you so much.
All right. And so,
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And so we had the Mississippi Athletic Association. And so we got the interference there. So all of these things, all of the inconsistencies of building toward a status that we currently find ourselves in, and an effective leader could have sit back and called it 10 years ago. One thing about our Caucasian brothers, they're not making any decisions for today as of today. Those decisions are 20 years back. 20 years. Take a look at it. Ask yourself, how long has my good friend over in Rankin County, Gary Rhodes, been mayor of Flowood? Forever. How long is he going to be mayor? Until he decides to leave. We got to ask ourselves these questions. And we have to make the right decisions. I remember back when our community passed the $150 million school bond. Our community always comes to our rescue. They're always begging us to do the right thing. They passed the school bond overwhelmingly, 85 to 95% passage. They passed the 1% sales tax. They pass it. They give us everything we ever asked for. And what they ask in return is leadership and opportunities for our people. That's what they're begging us for. But when you get leadership that is not focusing on the main issue, but dealing with petty differences, trying to make sure that we don't have black contractors, trying to make sure that we continue to do business with people who don't live in our city, who refuse to support Jackson First, who refuse to support minority participation, who refuse to engage in a disparity study, because we don't understand what it means to the total community. And so we get involved in making bad decisions. And we put people in positions because of their standing in their fight for civil rights in our community. God knows I'm thankful for my daddy, who was a giant in Madison County, who fought for politics and fought for equality for his people, and were burning crosses in the yard as he ran for supervisor in 1979, along with my cousin Flonzie Goodlow, who ran for the election commission in 79 in Madison County. I'm grateful for those people. But I knew that my daddy, had he become supervisor, would have gave everything away. Hold on a second. Caller, you're on the air.
Good evening, Mr. Garrett.
Good evening.
Nice to have you back, and I hope your trip was successful.
It was really successful. It was very inspiring.
Let me ask you this. They was talking about the possible state takeover.
Yeah.
But, it's going to face some opposition, and if the state did, what could they do that hadn't already been done, and why now?
Why now? Why should they take over now, or what could they do different? Is that your question?
Yeah, both questions. Why come up with this now, and what could they do different if they had to take over?
Well, Carla, there's some tough, hard decisions have to be made, as I have to make as a business CEO every day. There are hard decisions that the leadership has to make, and it starts right with the governing board. And so there are a lot of things that can be done. One is that we have to become fiscal responsibly. We have to do that. There's so much moving parts to an organization that large. So when you start talking about the eliminations of things that are redundant in the district, we have to right-size JPS. We have to make it more manageable. And so in doing that, we have to look at all of those elements. We have to look at the transportation system. We got to decide that we're going to privatize some things. There are a lot of things that we have to consider. it requires the leadership to take a look at the intake, the student preparations that are coming into JPS. We have to have a holistic approach with all of our feeder groups. So there's a lot of things that we can do. Hold on a second. Caller, you're on the air.
Oh, Mr. Garrett.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got a question for you. I'm listening to you. I think you make a lot of sense. And I try to see this thing both ways. And you named a list of superintendents over the last 2 years. And it just makes me wonder, what would be so bad if the state takes over? If we go through that kind of superintendent, the school district's in the worst shape it's ever been, declining against skill level in the schools, test scores. What is it so bad about the state taking over? And I'll hang up and I'll listen to you answer. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Well, the first thing that's bad about the state taking over is that it is an indictment on black leadership. It says that we are unable to manage the enterprise, and that hurts. As a black person, the things that meant the most to me when Barack Obama became president was that it meant that a black man could be president, that I should strive and I could work and I can do this thing and reach the highest pinnacles in life. When someone takes something from you because you can't manage it, it hurts us all. Not only do they indict us and say that we can't lead, but then they take all the financing away. Black people economically have not done well unless they had political control. We don't do well in Madison County, Rankin County. Our businesses do better in Hines County. We don't do business with Madison Public Schools. They don't buy degreaser and janitorial supplies, and they don't hire black folk to teach. They don't have directors of transportation that are black. So it's critical that as the African American community, we support each other and we mandate that we do it right. So it hurts for them to take it over. When will we get a black school superintendent that can stay in the job for 20 years? When will we get that? Because and the district rises and scores are up. That's what we got to do. And quit fighting each other and killing each other. Poor young man went up into Madison County to become school superintendent, Dr. Hayes. He went up there 2 years for a board with pettiness and foolishness, ran him out. We can't do that. So, Carl, it makes a big difference. Now, the other part of your question is, what can the state do? Well, quite frankly, there are a lot of things they can do. One is that you will see that they are going to eliminate a lot of contracts, a lot of positions. They're going to downsize the district. They're going to make it more cost efficient. They're going to reallocate dollars from administration to the classroom. They're going to privatize a lot of the bus maintenance issues and give it to First Student. When you see First Student running around in Madison County, it's not running around because it's part of the school district. It's a private company operating the budgets, and they've proven that they can operate and manage and maintain those buses more cost effective than the district can do it themselves. Proven. Our folk think that our economic engines are job producers. We think that the number one priority is to create jobs for our people, and I understand that because we need jobs. But government doesn't create jobs. Private enterprise has got to do that. So yeah, Carl, they can do a lot. And they're looking at the examples, and we got to look at them too. that Clinton Public School District is a high achieving level 5 school district in Clinton with a high percentage of African American students in Clinton Public School Districts? And they are achieving? We can't ignore that. But my thing is, I don't want nobody to take nothing from us. I want us to run it. I want us to demonstrate that we can do it. And I want to make us proud. That's why our folk invested us and sent us to school and did all of those things. I'm going to ask Miss Ann Jones to call me. I want to find out from her why she was the lone vote that voted against the takeover of the school. And so I know that Ms. Jones is out there, and I really need to understand what's going on. And I really want you to call in the radio station. We got some questions that have been coming. And if you could call us at 601-948-5950, 601-948-5950. Okay, thank you. And so we're going to ask Ms. Jones, who was a long-term school board member, probably had the longest tenure of anybody, and get her to talk a little bit about all of the transitioning and all of the people that we've gone through and why Clinton. Hold on a second. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Dr. King Stout, President for Jackson Federation of Teachers, TSRPs, and School-Related Personnel, Local 4402. I'm so glad that you're able to have us on air tonight.
Well, thank you for calling.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'm calling because I hear that there's a lot of tension in the air. I can feel the tension. You can see the tension. And by me being a local president of the union here in Jackson, I support our public education system. And there's something that I really think that our local leaders need to make sure that we are re-emphasizing to the community. Until the governor has signed such paperwork from the Department of Education, the takeover is not happening. It has not happened. Until the governor signs it, it has not happened. There is no particular time that he has to sign it. He can take the next 30 days if he wants to. But until that happens, our children, our community, our teachers, our principals, everybody that are stakeholders in the education system need to understand that school needs to carry on. Our students need to understand that we are here to support them. We are. That we are not going to allow someone to come in and take the building from them. That needs to be clear. It needs to be clear and concise what a takeover is, what it does, and how it affects our students. We're hearing so much in the media about takeover. You're getting bits and pieces here and there, but there are many questions that are not being answered. How will this affect the teachers? How will this affect our students? Are the schools going to be closed because of the takeover? Because that's the idea that our community is receiving, that our students are receiving when they hear such a word, when they hear people around them talking, but no one is giving them the hard horses. And that's why we, the local union, we are making sure that we meet with all of our members that are part of Jackson Public School District on September 21st, which is this coming Thursday. We're going to meet with them and pretty much kind of hash out all of those the miscommunication that has been put out there about what a takeover is. I've had several calls that have come in. I'm going to resign from my job. We don't need teachers to leave. We don't need the bus drivers to be throwing down their retirement. We need everybody who believes in this public education system, that is Jackson Public Schools, to stay there. We need our teachers to stay in the classroom. We need our students to stay at the school. There were many things that were published in the Clarion Ledger. And I'm not saying that the Clarion Ledger is a bad thing, so I want to make sure I put this disclaimer out there. I'm not saying that. But when you put it out there, please be mindful of the persons that read it. The average newspaper is written on the 5th grade level. So if you have a student that reads that, a student that loves his or her school, what is that child to think? What happens when that child reads that? And that's what we as adults are not taking. I don't see we're taking that seriously. We're not saying, students, we care about you. We support you. We want you to continue to do what you do in the classroom. We want you to continue to learn, continue to give your best. And that's the only way we move out of this, is that we have our students continue to give their best. Our teachers can continue to do what they do best in the classroom. That is continue teaching and learning to take place. So as a community and as a community stakeholder, as a parent that have had several kids to come out of Jackson Public Schools and have 2 more there, I need the support of everybody else. This is definitely a time that we all need to come together and stop putting together these divisive means to where we're dividing and conquering. We're only dividing and conquering ourselves.
Caller,
Watching us.
caller, I totally agree with you, and we have some other callers, but thank you so much for those points. We needed to hear it.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello, Ann.
Yes.
Thank you for calling. We have a discussion that's going on about what's happening in our school district and why our school district is under attack and what a potential takeover means. And we recognize that you were the only person who voted against the recommendation of takeover to the governor. Can you give us your rationale and what you see and how you visualize this thing, the situation that's happening? You've been along. Tell us a little bit about your background with the school board and your experience. Just share with us a little bit on why you did what you did.
Okay. First of all, let me say I am a member of the Accreditation Commission for the state of Mississippi. And as such, I cannot speak for the commission, nor will I attempt to speak for the commission, nor can I speak on any discussions that may or may not have taken place in the executive session of the commission. Now, in terms of my background, I've been associated with Jackson Public Schools ever since I moved to Mississippi back in 1977. As PTA member, PTA president, Jackson Council member, Jackson Council president, adopted school person, adopted school advisor, about every volunteer position you could have with the school district, up to and including a school board member. As to the reason I voted the way I did as a member of the Accreditation Commission, I need to go back and give you a kind of timeline. The Department of Education was asked to do a complete audit of Jackson Public Schools. That audit was completed on July 31st. And we received the results of that audit somewhere around after Labor Day. The commission received it, Jackson Public Schools received it, and I think it was put on the website for the Mississippi Department of Education around that same time. As such, the Department of Education then had had that report and had time to formulate the results of that report for over a month. Once we received the report, and it was some 700 pages long, including exhibits, we had, pardon?
Now go ahead.
We had from that time until the meeting date of September 13th to read and analyze and whatever of those 700 pages. We received the information from Jackson Public Schools at the meeting on September 13th. They too had, between the time they received the report until the meeting, which was about 10 days, they said, to formulate their response to the findings that were in the Department of Education's report. And we were given even less time than that. The members of the commission were given less time than that to look at their response, which consisted of 2 3-inch binders of about 900 pages. And we were to make a decision on the recommendation from the Department of Education with that time to look at this information. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that the commission, in my estimate, I was not given enough time to read Jackson Public Schools' answer to the findings in the audit report, to compare the two, to see if any of those things that were in the audit report had been done, were in progress of being done, or any, to compare the two reports. Okay?
Okay.
So, my decision to vote no was because of the timeline and the lack of time we were given to look at the Jackson Public Schools answer to the findings, to compare the two and make an informed decision. And I do not make decisions without being fully informed of both sides who did a presentation. Our decision then was based on what Dr. Murray presented at that meeting. Not, in other words, what I'm saying is we had about a week and a half to look at the 700-page report that the Mississippi Department of Education submitted. We had 15 minutes maybe to look at the response that Jackson Public Schools presented. To me, that was not enough time. Pardon?
Okay, all right. Well, I get your point. In terms of there not being enough time to make an effective decision. And I'm going to have to call you back and continue the conversation. We're running out of time, and I have a guest that showed up that's going to relieve me because I have to go to another meeting. And so, but okay. I look forward to calling you next week and further getting some insight as to how that board operates. Thank you so much now.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Listening audience, I am going to continue this discussion next week. There's so much to be said here and so many things that we as a community need to implement to make certain that we take control over our economic engines and entities, and that those entities do what they ought to do to benefit our communities. But I look forward to visiting with you again next week. Now, my guest, would you please kindly take over for me?
First, we're going to talk about why you're here. So let them know that you have an event coming up at Next Level, yes, right here in Jackson, Mississippi, You can tell them the date, your lineup, who you are, and how they can get a hold of you or more information about your event, please.
Hello, how y'all doing? My name is Shandell Henderson. I'm the president of Southern Horseman Association. And this Sunday we want to invite everyone to come out for a very good cause at Next Level Experience at 3645 Mega Everett Metro Drive at the Metro Center Mall. What we're doing, we're having a benefit concert for the people that was affected by the hurricane in Texas. So myself with my organization, Southern Horseman Association, we have collaborated with Share Life Foundation and other Mississippian artists, blues and Southern soul artists, and other professional and business owners here in Mississippi. And we're going to put on this great event Sunday at the Next Level Experience. And we have a great lineup, a great show for those who want to come out. The admission is only $10, and 100% of the proceeds will go to our friends in Texas who have been affected by the hurricane. And on the lineup, man, we got a great lineup. We got Dan, and all of these artists are from Mississippi. They're Mississippi artists. So we got Danielle, Dave Mack, Adrena, Coco, Vic Allen, Jay Hammer, Jerisa McBride, Stevie J, Mr. Zay, Val McKnight, and Nikita Randall. And it's going to be a great event. And like I say, 100% of the proceeds will go to our friends over in Texas who was affected by the hurricane.
I'm sorry, I was walking out, Mr. Garrett. So you said 100%. I love that. So this is a couple of questions. Are they able to get the tickets now? Is it on you guys' website, or are they only able to get the tickets at the door for $10?
It's at the door. You come in and just purchase, pay your $10 at the door, and come in and have a great time. Next Level Experience, they have great food and great drinks, and so you'll be able to enjoy yourself and listen to some good music, some good down home that Mississippi music.
Okay, and I'm really looking forward to it this Sunday at 6 o'clock. So one other question is, if they're not able to attend and they wanted to maybe give a donation, blankets, diapers, water, would they be able to do that on Sunday?
You can come, if you're not able to just have time to attend the event, you can bring all of those items, anything that's non-perishable food and water, blankets, and things of that nature. You can just drop it off at the Next Level Experience. We will have trucks out there where we will be taking those donations. Also, if you would like to make a monetary contribution, you can go to our website at www.sharelife.org. That's www.sharelife.org, and you can make your contribution. And like I say, all of it, the whole shebang, everything going to our people in Texas. We got a lot of people in Texas, friends actually of ours that was affected, and they come down to support us here in Mississippi at various events. One of the biggest events that they come to is the Mississippi Zydeco Jamboree. So we want to do our part. It could be us tomorrow, could be us next week. So we want to do our part in helping out our friends and neighbors over in Texas.
You're right. I mean, today it's them, and tomorrow definitely could be us. So our prayers and our thoughts go out to all those in Texas, in Houston. And then today, Mexico had an earthquake of 7.1. Wow. And me being from California, I've experienced plenty of earthquakes, but never one of that multitude. So definitely our prayers are going out to all of the people there. And so I thank you again for taking the opportunity to come out. And if you would share a contact number or email address or something, should they have any questions, they can call you. A lot of times, it being housed at Next Level, they call us. But we are the facility that it's going to be held at. So sometimes I'm not able to answer the questions that they may have for you being the presenter of the event.
Well, if anyone want to contact us, they can contact us at 769-798-9412. That's my number directly. It's 769-798-9412. Or they can contact Stanley Johnson at 601-918-2333. or they can go to our website at www.sharealife.org. And we would like to thank Next Level Experience for being a part of this. We'd like to thank 90.1 for being a part of this, and most definitely our Mississippi artists for, contributing their time and their talent to this great cause. And we're also in the process of putting something together for our friends in Florida. We're putting together a gospel concert. So, we just want to do our part here in Mississippi.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for doing that. And I love to see the collaborations. We're all about being collaborative instead of competitive. So that is definitely our thing. So before we go out tonight, of course, this program, Socrates Speaks, is underwritten every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. And we have another event coming up. It's not until next month, so you have plenty of time to come to this one on Sunday, and then this one in October on a Sunday. It's the All-Star Celebration and Gospel Tribute to Lee Williams. There is a slew of people on this flyer. The Kings and Queen of Gospel. There's a whole list of them. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty reading some of this at the bottom of this flyer, but I do want to let you guys know that this is taking place on Sunday, October the 29th. It's going to be at Next Level. It is a celebration, a gospel, and salute to Lee Williams. And some of the people are the Lee Williams and the Spirituals, Elder Teddy Cross on here. And then it says for early bird tickets, it's $20. Advanced tickets or VIP of $25 to $50. And you can get more information. You're younger than me. What is that number down there?
Oh, wow.
Right.
Let's see. We got, man.
We're going to give you guys that number in a minute.
The number is 662-783-6806 or 662-356-1025.
Okay, now tell you what, I know you're going to look at this live feed, and if you call either one of those numbers and they are not able to give you any information, text this number and they will text you back with the correct contact information. So we do apologize. You can text 601-699-3123. And for anyone who wants to have an event at Next Level, they have over 20,000 square feet of rentable space, including a full-service kitchen that is available to everyone near and far. You can get more information or details about pricing and so forth, availability at 769-447-4518. Thank you, as always, for listening to Socrates Speaks on WMPR 90.1, the voice of the community. Have a great day until next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.